So I honestly believe no intro can do this video justice, so I'm going to get right into it. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing the concept of confidence, how to become more confident, and how to overcome the things that are currently keeping you back, those mindset blocks or those limiting beliefs that are currently keeping you back from becoming your best confident self based on my own experience and in my own journey. I'm going to start off by trying to give you a little bit of perspective on the concept of confidence, and this exact perspective has helped me personally to overcome so many of my limiting beliefs around confidence. And it is the fact that confidence is not a personality trait that you either have or you don't. This has been such a massive realization for me that I even decided to start my ebook explaining this exact concept. And by the way, if you are interested in my ebook, you can find it linked on the description box. A lot of times when we think about confidence, we make statements like, I just lack the confidence. I don't know how to do this. Like, I'm not confident enough to do this. But the reality is that it's not that we are not confident, it's that we're not confident in what we would like to be confident in. Essentially, being confident is to be able to accurately predict the results of your actions and to have the relative reassurance that you can influence the result in a positive way. To make this even more concrete, if you love baking cookies and you bake cookies all the time, then chances are you're very confident when it comes to cookie baking because you know that ingredients XYZ plus X time of baking makes amazing cookies. But when it comes to a job interview, for example, then you suddenly say, well, I'm not confident. I don't know how to do this because you haven't done it enough. So you are not sure that you can predict the result of that interview, and you're not sure that you can have the results that you actually want. All of that is to say that when you think about confidence, the most important step, the first step, is to actually change your mindset around it and understand that if you can be confident about thing A, then you can replicate that process, that feeling of confidence for thing B. It's not I'm either confident or I'm not generally in life. It has to do with a sector. It's domain specific. The second thing that I think is quite important is to make sure that you are not using the I am not confident argument as a protection shield or as an excuse for not going after the things that scare you, but you actually do want to go after those things. But then, a lot of times it's so much easier to say, this is not made for me, than to say, I am not good at this yet. I'm also still struggling with this. So if you are also struggling, then there is no shame. But honestly, in the past year, I've went after so many things that I was so scared to go after. And I used to always say, well, I'm not confident. Like, I can't do this. Like, I just lack the confidence, like I can't do it. And then I went after those things and I just realized that at the end of the day, it wasn't the big deal that I initially imagined those things to be. And I honestly think that if you have to convince yourself that this is not made for you, even though somewhere deep inside you, there's a voice that keeps telling you this is for you, you want to do this, then chances are you're also hiding behind this argument of like, I'm not confident enough and this is why I'm not doing it. The truth is that if it wasn't made for you, you wouldn't even be contemplating it in your head. So the third important lesson that I also mentioned in my book is that more often than not, we measure confidence based on standards that we didn't even set for ourselves. So let's say, for example, you're not confident in the way you look because you feel like you're not pretty enough, or you're not skinny enough, or you're not tall enough, or you're not whatever enough. But the real question here is not pretty enough compared to who? Not tall enough compared to who? Not skinny enough compared to who? And I'm quite sure that a name pops up in your head when you ask those questions to yourself. And I would be lying if I said that I never compare myself to others or that I don't use other people's lives to measure my own success or my own appearance or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I try to remind myself that if I can adopt some random person's appearance, way of living, and beliefs to measure my own life, to use it as a metric for success, beauty, and happiness, then why can I all of a sudden adopt my own opinions and my own appearance and my own beliefs as the metric or the standard for all those things? At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that me and you, we don't really want a random person or the society that we live in to determine our happiness and our choices and our lives, and most importantly, our feelings and the love we feel towards ourselves. And I obviously know that it sounds easier said than done. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that we need to start being more self-obsessed in a healthy way, in a way that says, I am good enough for me, and I only plan to change when I doesn't serve me, not when I doesn't serve somebody else's opinion or somebody else's box on how I should live, look, and breathe. Keeping those three realizations or those three observations in mind, here are some tangible things or some tangible changes that have actually helped me to literally transform into an entirely new, confident person. Step number one is reps. In my first observation, I mentioned how you are most likely very confident when it comes to baking cookies because you have done it a million times. And the truth is that so many times the things we're not confident in are things that we haven't done enough or things that we haven't been exposed to enough times. Translation. If you are saying, I'm not confident being in front of a camera and filming videos, then your problem isn't the videos and the camera. Your problem is the fact that A, you haven't done it enough times to know how to do it, and B, the fact that you think that you're not going to be good at it and people will think you're trash. Bad news is that you're not going to be good at it yet, now. But after you do it a million times, like your cookies, you're gonna be really good at it. And being really good at something makes you really confident in something. I've said it a million times and I'll say it a million more. You can't build confidence in your head. You can't convince your way into confidence. You have to build it in your life. You need to be your own proof that you got it, that you can actually do this. Moreover, let's say that your lack of confidence is not skill-based, but appearance-based. Let's say that you don't like something about yourself. The first thing you need to do is, if you can change that thing you don't like about yourself, then obviously, please try to change it. I feel like nowadays, so many people, they don't like to be the ones that they change, and they instead prefer to try to convince other people that this thing that they don't like about themselves, it's suddenly normal and everybody should like it and accept it. For example, if you don't like yourself because of your weight, then it's time to go on a diet and hit the gym, because no amount of body positivity narrative is going to make you specifically feel more confident about yourself. If you are plus size and you love it, then I'm more here for it. But if you don't like it, if you prefer yourself skinny, if that's your own beauty standard, then please choose to change that for yourself instead of trying to change everybody else's opinion about it. On the other hand, if you don't like something about yourself and you can't change it, and the only reason you don't like it about yourself is because you keep thinking, oh my God, what are people going to say? People will think I'm ugly, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty, I'm not this, I'm not that. Then my advice to you is that you need to get out and socialize more and spend more time with people instead of hiding behind that insecurity and hiding in your room. And you will very soon realize that people don't even care, or they don't even notice, or that even that thing that you so don't like about yourself and that you think makes you so ugly is somebody else's favorite thing about you. Step number 2 is redefining the concept of confidence altogether. And I'm going to read this part of my book because I really love the wording that I used, and I feel like it exactly expresses my thoughts. If it's them, it will never be you. If your definition of getting confident is getting people's approval and feeling good about it, you will never win. Because people's opinions on how you should live your life or how you should dress, or who should you marry, or how should you handle your finances, or whether you should work or not work, will always be dependent on their own grievances, and so you will always be a winner to someone and a loser to someone else, and therefore 100% of times a loser to you. Because you didn't please everyone. If you tell a happy stay-at-home mom, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, she will say, this is the best decision of your life. If you say it to a woman that is in a big corporate position, making loads of money, but having no personal life, and unable to stop thinking or admitting that she would like one, and maybe the money and the title wasn't everything, she will probably say, this is the worst decision of your life. Because giving you her approval simultaneously means she is rejecting her own choices. People's approval isn't about you, it is about them. Please you. Do what gets you your own approval. Step number 3 is to have a glow up. What I have noticed about myself is that I'm obviously the same person day in and day out, yet if I spend 3 days at home eating processed food, not going out, not seeing the sun, and endlessly scrolling on my phone, I promise you that I suddenly question anything and everything about myself and my life. On the other hand, the days that I choose to take care of myself and dress up and maybe not work from home, but go to a cafe or a hotel or work with a friend and eat healthy food and be productive and move my body, then I literally feel like the world has changed in one day. I'm thinking more positively, I feel accomplished, and more importantly, I feel like I'm in control. I feel like I have some sort of control over my life. And once again, feeling that you have control over your life makes you feel confident because it makes you feel powerful. Step number 4 is to change your environment. And I don't necessarily mean your physical environment, but most importantly, the people around you. I can't even begin to explain how much of a confidence boost do I have every single time that the people that I love the most, and especially my family and my partner, they will take literally an hour to explain to me how I'm stupid for thinking all of those bad negative thoughts and doubting myself, and how I'm so amazing in their eyes, and I will do all those magnificent things. And I just believe that so many times what we all need is somebody to listen to us and somebody to believe in us. And if you don't have that from your family or from your close circle, then I honestly encourage you to get out there and try to find new friends or new people and share with them your feelings or your doubts or your insecurities. Because more often than not, all we really need is to see ourselves through somebody else's eyes. Step number 5, and that's my final step, is to understand how your brain works and leverage that. I wish I could take credit for this advice, but I actually can't. But one day I randomly heard this creator on TikTok, which I don't remember who is it. I wish I did so I can give her credit for it. And she basically said that one of the fastest ways to become more confident is to literally ask your brain to do that for you, or to show you the way in order to become more confident. So often we forget that our brains are not like our hands or our legs, but they're actually hyper sophisticated machines, computers that work on an input-output model. So if you say to yourself, I am not good enough, I am not this enough, I don't know how to do this, I'm not confident in that, I'm not this, I'm not that, then your brain is going to do anything and everything in its power to prove you right. It is even going to find people, situations, arguments, drama, whatever it is, and make you engage in that in order to prove you right, in order to prove all those negative predispositions that you have about yourself correct. And that's not because your brain hates you, but it's just because this is what you asked it to do. On the other hand, if you wake up every day and you say, I'm good enough, I can do this, I got this, I'm pretty, I'm successful, I'm this, I'm that, then even if you don't fully 100% believe it, but the fact that you keep repeating that, you keep having this input, Your brain's response is going to be to try and do everything in its power to prove you right, which means that it's going to try to identify possibilities, opportunities, people, narratives, situations that can actually confirm that bias. Use your brain for you, not against you. And if nobody else can show up for you, then you should at least show up for you. You should at least do what is best for you. One of my favorite spiritual leaders, Sadhguru, in one of his speeches, in one of his videos, he said that if the entire world is the problem, then you at least shouldn't be your problem. I hope you remember that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, I would really appreciate it if you could like the video, leave a comment and subscribe, as it really helps the algorithm understand that this is a valuable video and maybe it can help other people the way it helped you. As always, you will find all of my links and all of my resources on the description box below, including my book called A High Value Woman, which I also mentioned in this video. With that being said, thank you so much for watching and I will see you again next week.